Hey everybody, Michael the Librarian of Magic, finding and cataloging the magical and pointing you to it. Today we're a little bit less than a week away from the launch of Disney Plus, and I thought today that leading up to that I would highlight some things that are coming to the platform that I'm excited about, that I'm very interested in at least to watch and see, and highlight some of those, just a handful of them, I think five-ish here in my notes. And I wanted to pick some things. I combed the entire list that has been released of the nearly 640 offerings that will be available on Disney Plus at launch day. I went through the whole list and picked out some things that jumped out to me, that were exciting to me, um, besides just some of the obvious stuff. Uh, if you are a Disney fan or a Star Wars fan, of course we're excited for The Mandalorian and some of the original content that is already been pretty well documented so far. Even down to, if you're a High School Musical fan, they're making a High School Musical show that has already been highlighted pretty extensively around the internet, but I decided to grab onto a few that I haven't really heard or observed anybody talk about too much, and that just seemed interesting to me, and kind of go from there, just to maybe give an overview of some of the things I'm interested in with the service, as well as hopefully getting you excited for some things that maybe you didn't realize or hear about from the service. So that's kind of the goal of this video, just to talk about a handful of the offerings there and just talk about sort of a precursor to the service. And then next week I'll do a video after the service launches and we'll see what it's like. So these are in no particular order at all. They're not ranked in terms of my level of interest or anything. I would say I'm equally interested in all of these things or excited to see them. So I'll just start here on the top of my list. The first thing I noted were the Living Desert and the Vanishing Prairie. These are some nature documentaries that the Disney Studios made way back when Walt was still alive, in the 50s and 60s. And there are some other ones too, besides just those two. But I'm interested in seeing those. There's going to be on the service National Geographic. All of their programming will also be on Disney Plus. So there will be plenty in the way of nature documentaries on the service. But I'm kind of interested to go back and see some of those older Disney ones from the 50s and 60s. I think it would be really interesting to see what those are like and what sorts of things they have to say. Some of them have been notoriously hard to find prior to Disney Plus existing, so that's another reason why I'm excited that they're on the service. I think at one point they were available in the Disney Treasures collection tins, but those things are not really affordable for everybody. They became collector's items right away, and they became rarities right away, and the prices for those on the internet are astronomical. The same would go for any things that were released in those tins, like Zorro, The Adventures of Spin and Marty, all that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that they'll put that stuff on the Disney Plus service as well, or anything that was basically anything that ended up in the Disney Treasures collection. That would be really great to make those things more easily accessible to those of us who can't afford an exorbitantly priced rare item. There are going to be some of the Zorro movies that they made back in the day as well, but I'm not sure about the TV show that they had on in the 50s, if that's included in the service or not. I didn't notice it on the list. So I'm excited to see where they go with that. I'm really glad these nature documentaries are on there, and I'm really excited to watch those when the service rolls out. The next thing on my list is a animated series from 2012 through to 2013 called Tron Uprising, which originally aired on Disney XD, the Disney XD channel, for a 19-episode run. I totally missed that run when it first aired on the channel, and just was sort of unaware of it until more recently. And I'm really interested to be able to give that a shot, and happy that they're putting it on the service. I'm a fan of the Tron series. The first one is really nostalgic for me. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but it really has some cool elements to it, and the acting is really cool. And Jeff Bridges does a good job in that movie, and I feel like I'm one of the few people that actually really like Tron Legacy. I thought that was a really cool movie. It had a really cool idea for a plot. If you were to continue the Tron series, it was very interesting. I thought that was really cool, and the Daft Punk soundtrack to Tron Legacy is really great. In fact, even people who don't like the movie tend to recommend the soundtrack if they've heard about it at all. It's really cool. Anyway, Tron Uprising is an animated series that takes place in between the original movie and Tron Legacy, and I'm just really interested to see what that's like. It has Elijah Wood in the lead role as the voice actor of the lead role, and I'm really interested to see that, and I'm happy that it's on here. And you'll find that a few of the things on the list that I'm excited for, just things that I sort of missed on their first go round, their first airing, because of not having cable or not watching cable TV when they came out, but still being interested in them. So Tron Uprising is one thing that I am interested to take a look at that you may not have heard about or realized is going to be on the service. In the same vein, the next thing on my list is the film series Descendants, as well as the Halloweentown film series. These are teen-esque or teen-oriented, Disney Channel movies, original movie series. There are multiple ones in each series, and I just sort of missed those as well the first time they came around. I was aware of them, but I didn't jump at watching them because they didn't really look to be of interest to me at the time. They weren't obviously marketed to me. They were for teens, and when they came out, I was in my in my 20s and early 30s, and obviously they were marketed to teens, and it didn't look visually like something I'd be interested in. But since then, both of those series, for Disney fans in general, have become a little bit of a phenomenon of their own. So I'm not necessarily interested in those in terms of being really excited that they're going to be super duper awesome, although I may enjoy them. But I'm just interested to see what they're all about, and because I know that there are a lot of fans of them, I just want to make myself culturally aware of it, and I'm excited to give them a try. I've read in various sources on the internet that there are things that are worth recommending, so I'm interested to see it for myself. And both of the themes of those, Descendants being a show about the children of Disney villains, and Halloweentown being about Halloween, both of the themes of those appeal to me, even though they're catered towards teenagers. I'm interested to give them a shot, and I'm glad that they're included on the service as well. The next thing on my list is actually one of the original shows that they're making just for Disney Plus, and you may or may not have heard about this one. It's called The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and I'm interested to see that show because Jeff Goldblum has gone through a little bit of a renaissance in this stage of his life and career. People have sort of latched onto him as a icon, and he just has a really unusual and interesting manner about him, and he has an interesting outlook on the world, and he's just a very interesting person. And the basis of the show, from what I understand, is it's going to basically be, each episode is something different that Jeff Goldblum is interested in. They sort of just let him pick things that he was interested in, and then turn a camera on him learning about and experiencing those things. So I think that sounds really interesting to me, primarily because whatever would be interesting to Jeff Goldblum is probably going to be interesting to watch, and it will be probably kind of a quirky, interesting show to see. So, of course, I'm interested in all the original content that Disney Plus has to offer, and I'm planning on documenting as much of that as I possibly can on this channel, just to give my honest impressions of it as it comes rolling out. But of the original things, besides of course The Mandalorian, I'm very interested in The Mandalorian. But of those other original things, this is one that sticks out to me: The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Finally, the last thing that I'm really keen on, and this was something that I didn't learn about until a couple of weeks ago when I was doing some research for my Disney villain drawing project in the month of October, which if you haven't seen those, you can find those videos on my channel. But when I was doing research for those, I found out about a show called The Legend of the Three Caballeros that Disney put together. They were rolling out an app called Disney Life that was sort of a precursor to what eventually became Disney Plus. They rolled out this app last year as a potential streaming video app, with some original content on it, and they decided to test it in the East Asian markets and primarily in the Philippines. They produced this show, The Legend of the Three Caballeros, as an original for and gave it 13 episodes. And it ran as a sort of a launch show on that platform in 2018. And then early this year in 2019, they started running that show as well on the Disney Channel, but only in the East Asian market for the Disney Channel. Southeast Asia. So, but anyway, the basis of the show is the characters from the Three Caballeros, the classic Disney animated film, which, if you aren't familiar, is about Donald Duck and his Latin American cousins, Panchito Gonzalez and Jose Carioca. Panchito is from Mexico and Jose is from Brazil. He's sort of a green parrot, and Panchito is a red. Um, I can't remember, a macaw, I think. But anyway, they're just really fun together in the chemistry that they have. And when I was young, Donald Duck was always my favorite Disney character. So anything that involved the Donald shorts or anything like that, I was totally into. I just love that character, and I still do. And as a result, I became pretty fascinated with the Three Caballeros at a young age. The Three Caballeros was actually a follow-up to Disney's film Saludos Amigos, which it was sort of a animated movie involving various of their characters about Latin America. And the Three Caballeros was a follow-up to that they did immediately after, which primarily focused on Donald and his cousins, those birds. At any rate, this show, The Legend of the Three Caballeros, is more of a scripted adventure show where Donald and his cousins have to. There's some sort of a god trapped in a device that will be wreaking havoc on the world. So there's a mystical, magical item that they slowly learn about, and they have to go on adventures in order to prevent evil from happening. And it's sort of this far-fetched adventure idea, as far as I can gather. I saw some very brief clips of the style on the internet, and it got me very excited to check this show out because it really, the voice acting and the animation style and the vibe of it really looked just like a lost Disney afternoon show from the 90s that was just produced last year. And it looks really cool to me. I'm really glad that they're breathing life back into the Three Caballeros characters because I really love those. And really interested to see what this is like. And the entire season, the 19 episodes that they had produced earlier this year and late last year, will be available on Disney Plus on launch day. So I'm very, very interested to give that a try as well. It looks really cool to me. I love those characters, and I love that Disney afternoon type of style. So those are just a handful of the things that I'm excited for. I'm also excited for the movies that are coming out. I'm very interested in seeing the live-action Lady and the Tramp, and I'm very interested in seeing what they roll out in the future as well. I know they're going to be doing a final season of the Clone Wars, Star Wars The Clone Wars, which I'm excited for, as well as shows going on into the future. All the Marvel stuff that's going to be coming out and future original content is really exciting. So that's just a handful of stuff. Is there anything that you're interested for that I didn't talk about? Let me know down below if you're planning on subscribing to Disney Plus and there's some content that you're interested in. I'd be cool to know what that is. And if I didn't mention anything, just let me know. If you're enjoying this content or you're interested in this, please give me a thumbs up or a comment, and please give me a subscribe. If you want to know when these videos are available, once I make them, hit the notification bell so that you will be aware when they drop onto YouTube. And that's what I got for you today. Just a handful of stuff. I hope that makes you excited about the service or informed you about something you might not know that's just a little bit magical. And join me next week when the service is already rolled out, and I start giving you my impressions of the original content as it comes out. And I hope that you'll join me for that. So until then, I hope you have a really great day. Bye bye.